but he might be able to break through. That one Zealot in the middle is actually at very, very low health. Go, Cal letting the Zerglings into his base now, trying to get the surround on all the remaining Zerglings, but this is not looking good for Cal now. Let's see if he can out-pump effort and finally get to his base before some higher tech pops.
It does manage to get speed on his Zealots. I thought this would be some sort of DT strategy coming in from him here, but instead he's going to go for some heavy Zealot production. And we see Effort, he has sacrificed a lot to get all those Zerglings out there. So he has a huge number of Zerglings with speed, fighting those Zealots with speed, and the number of Zealots out there should be able to safely take on these Zerglings, and he's going to continue this pump. But for now, this is going to be a defensive game for Cal. He's got his Forge coming up. He's going to be able to get some cannons down, maybe work on his Weapons 1 upgrade. He's doing a valiant job of fighting back those Zerglings, definitely pumping enough Zealots. Effort, meanwhile, is crippling his own economy to do this. He has no drones at the bottom right, only 2 at the natural expansion. So I think that if Cal manages to fight this back, just the fact, even though he's on one base, he's going to be able to continue fighting this off. He's going to be able to get the huge amount of Zealots out there, go and do damage with them, because there's absolutely no mining, no economy out there. For he does have the Spire up, so the Mule is going to be the saving grace. Cal, meanwhile, is getting some cannons up there, so they're also going to be able to possibly help him defend against the Mutalisk. But for now, it's going to be just a pressure game for Effort. He's going to try to continue pressure, keep those Zealots up on that ramp, continue pressure until he gets some Mutas out there. The Mutas will not be many. They will not be in a very large count, I think, because he's pumping, using a lot of his minerals for those Zerglings. And I think the cannon that's in there, one lone Muta flying out there. So I really don't know what's what in this game. I really have a hard time guessing what. No gas coming out there for Cal. He's got a decent amount of economy going. Only one cannon to defend against that one Muta, which oddly enough is more than enough. And I think soon enough he might try to break out. He sees those Mutas, 2 Mutas coming out there. We're going to see what reactions are going to be right now.
Yeah, Cal, at this point, he's got to stop Zealot production. He's still going heavily on these Zealots, but those aren't going to help him at all against the Mutas. He needs to start pumping Dragoons. And I saw that he put more probes on gas, so I think that is his plan, to just keep pumping Dragoons, try to save himself here. But, man, just lost a lot of Zealots there. Way too many Zealots, and now he's going to have to continue playing defensively. Not having a single Dragoon out there really hurt him. If he had pumped 1 Dragoon during that entire time, he would have been able to pick off that initial Muta and fend off against another Muta, so he would have been able to hold that choke a little bit longer. But still, Effort just hanging outside the natural expansion from Cal. Cal adding more cannons. Looks like he's finally getting his Dragoon production up. I didn't see the range upgrade for those Dragoons coming out anytime soon. So, man, this is going to be such an uphill battle for Cal. Even though he has all these gateways and he's going to be able to pump Dragoons from all of them, he's still going to be behind in bases. I mean, Effort, he cut his drone production heavily, but he's still at 3 bases over Cal's 1. And there's not much chance that Cal is going to be able to get his second base anytime soon. He was committing to a rush strategy anyway, so I don't know. I still don't really like Cal's chances in this game. The best chance he has is to just keep grouping up units, grouping up Dragoons, and that will help him push out a little bit further and get his second base, but it's going to be tough.
I really think that trying to break out with that huge Zealot count was a big mistake by him. He was fighting, he was surrounded on all sides, running down into a funnel with his Zealots. Not only was he surrounded on all sides by Zerglings, but he was getting that splash damage constantly. It wasn't huge, but it counted. Just one splash damage shot damaged every single one of his units a little bit. He lost almost every single one of his Zealots. He had a huge number, I think almost a control group, if not a control group, and I think he got petered down to like 2 or 3, so that was a huge loss. Now he's going to be forced to sit inside of this base, going to have a very hard time breaking out, going to be forced to fight Mutas with Dragoons, which is never a good position to be in. Meanwhile, Effort just going to get his gas up, continue troop production, which he can do safely, even though he doesn't have like full saturation, but he's 2 bases over Cal. So the longer the situation stays like this, the worse it's going to be out for Cal. He's going to try to break downwards now. Mutal is caught a little bit out of position. We're going to see what they actually managed to get all those Dragoons down there. Mutas, I mean, caught out of position, but he now has quite a decent number out there to defend his natural expansion. We're going to see what he actually tries to get his natural expansion going, because he desperately needs a base at this point. He needs to get some additional mining. Still going to have some troop production out there. Going to work on his range on his goons, because he's going to want to compete with these Mutas out there with those goons on the ground. But Effort still has quite a large troop, quite a few Zerglings, and we're just going to be Effort trying to catch Cal out of position here, I feel, because if Cal moves out, he's not going to be in very good position. It's going to be fairly easy to get a surround on him, to get a surprise attack, setting out a lone Zealot out there to spot the low right-hand position, possibly try to do some harassment, might actually manage to pick off several drones, and that's what Cal needs to do. He needs to try to do some harassment. Actually, Effort on top of that with some Zerglings in there, so this might not be too successful.
Yeah, the big thing for Cal right now is unit composition, and that's going to be so tricky to deal with the right kind of units, the right amount, because he's going to need Zealots out to deal with these Zerglings, and Effort could always just switch it up and go all Mutas instead of pumping any more Zerglings. So, yeah, it's really difficult being in Cal's position right now. He doesn't know which unit to pump the most of. He has quite a few Dragoons, but still, Effort is pumping from 3 hatcheries. He's saturated to natural and his 5 o'clock base. He has a lot of Zerglings coming down the map. These Zealots are out there completely undefended with Dragoons. All of the Dragoons are at home, so these Zealots going to kill as many Zerglings as they can before dying very horribly. Oh, quite a few Zergling kills, though, from Cal before he backs off. And now he has a lot of Dragoons, so oh, this is going to be so close, I think. If he tries to push the natural, I think he will be outpumped eventually. But come on, Cal. He's still not committed to his second base, so he's going all in with this. Just all in Dragoons. Let's see if he can get it done. He only has 1 Zealot left, though.
Looking like in a lot of trouble. And he lost a huge number of probes when those Mutas got inside his base. I think Effort just has way too large of a number of Mutas out there. He's picking off another Overlord, says a little bit. Look at that saturation. Almost no probes out there. So this is all in here for Cal. He needs to get it done. There's no way he can compete otherwise. He needs to go out there, pick off a base, pick off everything that Effort has, and hope that he can survive. I just don't think he's going to manage to do it. Way few Dragoons left, all getting just massacred by these Mutalisks out. The 3 Dragoons, 3 Zealots are going to be able to run towards the natural expansion, try to do something there, but the Mutalisks ready to meet him there as they run inside the base. And GG from Godzilla.
That's my Godzilla there. So Godzilla versus Gigan here. I think that's the best Godzilla analogy I could come up with. Mothra, maybe Mothra. But Gigan, I see more Gigan in Effort here. But Effort already up 1, and let the Godzilla madness continue.